What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the basement for episode 8. The hilarity starts immediately. First off this week has been Mark Miller's new project with JR Jr., Kick Ass. The question is, did it kick ass, or did we as the consumer get our asses kicked? And I think I speak for everybody when I say it kicked fucking ass. Boys?
I'd just like to thank our writers, all 5 of them, for coming up with his monologue this week. It was that or Leno, and they chose to go with us, and I appreciate that.
A lot of those assholes are still on strike.
Well, we don't pay them.
No.
Right.
That's why they're on strike.
Scabs. I will say that Mark Miller is hit or miss for me. I think that sometimes his shit is very, it's too cynical, doesn't fit the mold. This was good. I thought this was a perfect match.
I've honestly liked Miller since Ultimates. I liked him on Fantastic Four. Basically, the idea here is it takes place in the real world, and this kid hands you the question of, they talk about comics being in the mainstream media, they talk about how a lot of the movies recently have sucked, and it hands you the idea, with all of these lunatics in the world, and with comics being in the mainstream media, how come none of these assholes ever tried to be a superhero before? How come nobody's ever realistically just put on tights and tried to fight fucking crime? And that's what goes on here. And,
it doesn't end well for the kid.
No, it really doesn't.
It really doesn't end well for the kid, man.
As one might expect if you were stupid enough to put on tights and try to fight crime.
It was his first try, too.
Yeah,
his first run, and he got his...
I was hooked in the first 3 pages. I didn't have a lot of hope for this book. I picked it up purely to review on the show, and I'm so glad I did. You might have seen the posters running around for it. Some of the stores might have printed the stuff out online. Mark Miller did all of the advertising himself.
Yeah.
He couldn't afford much, obviously, because you maybe have seen I think there was one ad page in Wizard.
No, but I'll tell you what he did that was fucking brilliant. He did a viral video for it that went out on the net. He has milked the fuck out of his MySpace page. It was a great move on his part, and the stuff was surprisingly good. I mean, this was a weird mix.
The main character actually has his own MySpace page, and in the future, as the series progresses, he's going to be interacting with his fans on the MySpace page. I think it's brilliant.
What is the? Is it just Kick-Ass? MySpace.com?
Yeah, I believe it's Kick-Ass. I found it actually. He's on our MySpace page on Pete'sBasement.com and MySpace / Pete's Basement. You can find him somewhere on there.
So it's MySpace.com/Kickass?
Yeah, it should be.
Just make sure you type that in correctly.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to find some weird
leather-bound
fisting type shit.
You're talking about me. You're talking about me and my horny Hulk, but you're talking about fisting, right?
For those who missed it,
edit that out.
For those who missed it, the new Hulk came out this week. Last week, excuse me. And Ramon kind of was wondering why they haven't made Pink Hulk for a super horny Hulk. And that turned into a conversation that literally...
I need a drink.
Yeah, we almost called a priest.
Nothing stronger than beer in the house?
Horny Hulk. Horny Hulk. Horny Hulk.
It's going to happen. It really will.
What would you do if the Hulk got horny?
Run. I would run.
The man can jump 3 miles in a single bound.
I would run and hide in a bunker somewhere in the depths of New Jersey where no one would look.
Oh, God. We gotta move. Yeah, no, Hulk doesn't go to Jersey.
I don't think New Jersey exists in the Marvel Universe anymore.
And perhaps rightly so.
Yeah.
One thing that did come out this past week that was really good was Daredevil, newest one, concludes the story with Mr. Fear, was number 105, and Adam actually brought up a great line. What did you say after you read this issue?
Daredevil's going to be the first Marvel superhero to kill himself. Everybody who writes him beat the living monkey shit out of him.
This is right up there with Frank Miller.
This is really this is horrible, man. I mean, every girl who goes near Daredevil ends up either in a mental institution, strung out, or dead.
Yeah.
This is a fucked up storyline. I thought it was great.
It's drawn great. Brubaker is really, really stretching his fucking S&M muscles on this one. Because Lord knows by the end of this issue, I was really convinced I was reading, a fucking porn book. I was having, at the end of the book, spoiler alert, by the end of the book, Mr. Fear's banging prison guards.
Yep.
Yes.
And,
that was hot.
I mean,
female prison guards.
Yeah, that's
right.
a good caveat. This isn't Oz. But Daredevil is sitting in his room crying to himself at the end of the book. He's sitting there crying. He's like, oh, this can't be...
Mr. Fear basically wins. He loses, but he wins. You really should... The trade will probably be out in a week or 2, because, the turnaround on these fucking things is no time at all. Definitely pick this up.
Yeah,
and the past 6 issues, actually, was also the Brubaker arc.
Yeah.
And it all ties in together. It's been a year-long fuck fest for Matt Murdock, and I don't mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
Pick it up. You will definitely enjoy it. You will not go wrong.
Agreed. Definitely agree. I haven't enjoyed Daredevil this much in years, man. Brubaker. Well, I mean, whatever. Marvel's definitely milking Brubaker for all he's worth. He's ushering in single-handedly some of the best stories this company has had in years.
Oh, yes,
Cap 35 keeps it going, man. I talk on it, man. I loved it.
Red Skull's great.
Loved it.
I love the way they're making the Red Skull be this ultimate villain, which he always should have been, but he kind of got downgraded.
Yeah.
And now he's just brilliant and evil, and he belongs right up there next to Dr. Doom nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Brubaker's written him to be like the Marvel version of the Joker. I mean, he's the baddest motherfucker that they've pulled out of the works. He's still writing a really great Captain America that's not Steve Rogers. I'm
really looking forward to seeing Bucky get back at Dr. Faustus and Arnim Zola for all the shit they put him through in the past couple of issues.
I agree, but I still think the best part of this issue was the cliffhanger at the end with Agent 13.
Yes.
Oh, she knocked up.
See, you try to add a little suspense. You try to add a little suspense and just got to shit.
She's having Captain American baby.
He said spoiler alert.
You know?
He didn't say spoiler.
I don't think
I didn't say spoiler.
There you go.
But you guys might have seen the little cheese pop up on the right-hand side over there by Steve. Usually does, and then it turns green and flashes red at you because that's what cheese does when it spoils. Flashes red at you.
Yeah.
Open up the refrigerator. Looks
Was he
radioactive.
drinking before I showed up?
I was.
He pretended he
Yeah,
I have a 5 o'clock rule during the week, but Saturday's noon, man.
He pretended this was the first one. That was
I have nothing strong in the house because it's finished.
checked the corner.
for a reason.
Oh man.
So, continuing in the Marvel vein, man, what else is in this stack?
The Ultimate line is just continuing to be fantastic as far as I'm concerned. Ultimate Spider-Man came out, and I love the Amazing Friends storyline.
Yeah.
Bendis can write his ass off when it comes to Spidey, and I love what he's doing with Ultimate. I was the biggest fan in the 80s of Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends, and watching, at this point, Liz Allen last issue turn into Firestar, and Iceman's around, and one of his pals in school figures out that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, which was really cool. It gives, his supporting cast a lot more fucking intelligence, and hey, Spidey's here and Pete's never here. It steps them above Lois Lane, basically. One thing I'm really upset about, and of course, if you notice the cover, Magneto does show up at the end of the issue to claim the new mutant that kind of shows up. But the only thing that displeases me about this is, I'm sorry, I don't like Stuart Imonen's work, however you pronounce his name, I don't know. But I really, really wish that Mark Bagley was back, or Ed McGuinness, or me, or something. Fuck it. I don't like it. I don't like me. I'll draw a little stick figure. This guy's artwork, I'm sorry, man. This guy's artwork looks like the little stick figure gifts that you see on MySpace.
God, it wasn't. I know.
You know what? I liked Stuart Immonen's work for a while. He was a weird choice for this book. I'm not a huge fan of Ultimate Spidey, but I will say that they had a much broader range of choices than this, and I think this was a weird decision.
It just doesn't fit the character, it doesn't fit the motif, the style of the book, how happy-go-lucky it is. It's just, I don't know, remember when Sal Buscema came back on Spectacular Spider-Man and he was drawing like fucking squares and shit?
Yeah.
God, I hated that too.
What did it look like?
Squares and shit? You gotta do squares and shit.
Yeah, you have to a little fucking nervous tick when you say it.
Yeah, squares and shit.
Ultimate X-Men.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
This book is just raw.
Just pick this book up and turn to the last page.
Seriously,
Let me
shoot
just
it
say
out
this.
there.
I have to acknowledge that you guys all recommended this to me. I had dropped this book about 40 issues ago. I picked it up sporadically. This issue fucked me up and was fantastic. It was probably one of the best X-Men books I've read in any of the 25 fucking X series they have out right now.
Right.
Spoiler alert, seeing Wolverine get his arm torn the fuck off and then get shanked with it alone
Apocalypse is badass, man.
was possibly one of the best X moments ever. I'm really shocked at Salvador LaRocca's artistic choice not to make that a bigger moment. For people who've been reading the book,
That could have been a splash page.
in Ultimate X-Men, you find out that it's a completely different setup than the mainstream universe. Cable is actually a
Wolverine.
future version of Wolverine without a healing factor and one arm. And you found that out like 10 issues ago, 20 issues ago.
And then you realize why.
Then you find out why.
Yeah.
When Shanky McShankalot fucking tears his arm off and rams it in his own asshole.
That's great.
It was a great, great, great issue. I was really surprised, and I recommend it highly.
Should we tell them what happened on the last page?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
to.
Onslaught. Just one. No. Let's not even. Onslaught. Ultimate Onslaught, and
We think,
and it looks
yeah.
completely different. It's going to be. I'm looking
And
really
some other guy.
hugely forward
I'll
to
just
that
say that
shit.
it looks like 2 of Apocalypse's 4 horsemen show up.
Yeah.
And if you take a good long look at them, you can probably guess who they are. And if you've been following along with Ultimate X-Men, you kind of see why Cable Wolverine kidnapped Professor X to the future back in issue 75 or whatever.
And let me just tell you, man, Robert Kirkman is writing his ass off on this book because I picked this up and I knew exactly what was going on. Everything fit, and what they've done with the Ultimate Universe make everything super coherent. Everything fits together perfectly.
At
Love
any
it,
point
love it.
is a jump-on point. The stories are concise, they conclude, and you move on.
Yep.
Maybe there's
Love
a
it.
little teaser in the last one, but nothing major that you can't just pick up the next story.
And this is definitely something that Marvel's doing right. I really hope that they can bring that approach to the main universe.
Oh, Jesus.
speaking
No,
of the main
no,
universe,
man.
Oh,
Mighty
man.
Avengers, this issue pleased me. Number 9,
It did.
they go after Doctor
Yeah.
Doom. Mark Bagley draws his ass off,
He
and
does.
I gotta say it because I was fucking like a kid in a candy store
Yeah.
reading through this thing, and I came across the first double-page splash.
First of 3.
Right.
I wasn't even gonna say that yet, man. I think that
Yo.
they're just fighting the fucking Doom bots, and I'm like, oh man, this is fat as hell. And I turned the page and fuck, there's another one. And it was just awesome. And I'm like, oh please, just let there be
I
another
have
one.
an admission. I have an admission
I
to
thought
make.
it was a misprint. I thought it was the same.
I'm a hater. Okay, I
Really?
freely admit
I never
You?
noticed.
I have hated Brian Michael Bendis' work for the better part of the last 10 years. When I was living in Cleveland,
Definitely the better part of the last 8 episodes.
Listen, man. When I was living in Cleveland and I had to see his ass in action, like press, I knew people who had known him passingly living in
You
Cleveland.
lived in Cleveland?
I lived in Cleveland. I do not recommend it at all.
Are you an
But
Indians fan?
fuck the Indians, fuck the Browns, fuck most of their mainstream athletic teams.
Okay.
Um,
Well, last week it was Bill Nye. Now it's
But
Cleveland.
you know, I've hated his shit off and on for the better part of the last 10 years. I think that his shit is very talky. I think it is self-indulgent writing. I think he takes a lot of shortcuts. House of M made me want to go out and punch kittens. Mighty Avengers issue number 8, 9, excuse me, might well have single-handedly redeemed his entire comic book history.
Fucking therapy.
This
How
was-
great is it? The spoiler at the end, man. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of time travel going to be going on in this.
Dude, this was a classic fucking Avengers story.
They are into the 1970s.
There was no hang-ups, there was no bullshit. Even the thought bubbles worked. It read like a classic fucking comic book. This
Yeah.
was the type of
The
stuff.
grainy thing. Yeah.
It was great, man. You know, they do the color halftone at the end. This was exactly the type of story that got me hooked on comics when I was like 10, man.
Yep.
Bendis, if you can keep this shit up, I may not come after you with a hacksaw one. Jesus. No promises. No promises.
Don't ever get out of a house.
No household tools.
Yeah, no.
Never. I'm having a lot of fun with Spider-Man with great power.
You're
To
right,
me,
you're
it's
right.
the only. I know I'm on my own. To me, it's the only good Spidey book on the market. It's basically, like I said a couple of weeks ago, it's Spidey when he first got his powers, living it up, enjoying himself, you know, making friends, being cool in school before he has that whole with great power becomes great responsibility shit hanging over his head. Uncle Ben is alive. He's yelling at his aunt and uncle. He's being a teenager, having fun, making money, and I don't know, it's just a fun book for me. I'm really enjoying it, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I highly recommend it. I want to see where it's going.
Isn't that like one of the only books using the Marvel Knights imprint anymore?
Yeah.
I think
It's
so.
like, it's like, I still don't even know why that
So.
thing exists.
I don't know.
Is it
Maybe they just like the little MK thing.
Little MK?
Yeah.
Is there a difference in Marvel Knights and Max?
Max? I
Yeah,
don't-
way different.
Yeah, very.
Max is
Max is-
fucking bloodthirsty.
Yeah,
Goes
Max is
at
like
his
bloodthirst.
guts falling off. Fuck
Yeah, it's like
this, fuck
R-rated.
that, cocksucker this,
Yeah.
pussy that.
Yeah.
You seem very comfortable with that.
It's, you know, I'm from Brooklyn, man. I just roll curses out. Fuck isn't even a word; it's a comma.
Yeah. That is possibly the best thing I've ever heard to come out of anyone from Brooklyn, ever. And maybe ever from this day.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
So now we're leaving the land of Marvel and segueing into pisshole DC.
I didn't even read Batman. I still hate Grant Morrison, but I did pick it up, and I'm going to read it eventually. What happened here?
It's like, who said this? Batman meets Saw?
Yeah.
That was the crazy guy in the corner.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'll say this. The problem with Batman is at this point, the issues don't come out close enough for it to be a coherent story.
No, they don't.
Grant Morrison is a really good writer. I've loved his shit forever.
But his shit's always late.
It's late. The artwork isn't that great. It doesn't tell a really good, coherent story. And there's so much shit going on, and so much other stuff that's been going on in the other Bat titles, and you know they interrupted all this shit with the Ra's al Ghul stuff. That this stuff, you know, it just doesn't follow. You know what I mean? It's not a clear story. It came out way too late for it to even matter, really. You know, I wouldn't recommend this book at all. And as far as it being a jumping on point, you'd have to be schizophrenic to follow it at this point.
Yeah.
Thumbs
wait
down,
a
baby.
while.
Thumbs down.
But there's a big arc coming up. Rest in peace, Batman or Bruce Wayne. I think?
Yeah, something like that. Where
It's supposed to be real big.
Hopefully
maybe,
they don't
but
do it.
you know what? Again, I'm pretty much almost completely done with DC, man.
Maybe Grant Morrison's a Skrull.
That was terrible.
Sorry.
Dreadful reference. Dreadful reference, man.
Sorry.
Fuck, man. I was respecting you, and you just.
Sorry.
It just
We'll
all
edit that
fell
out.
apart.
You'll have the respect back.
and-
No. That stays. In another 2 minutes, you would have had my respect. That's cool. Carry on.
Speaking of losing respect, Superman, Batman. They hyped this new kryptonite bullshit up, man.
And it had potential because it was magical kryptonite. It was kryptonite with like some spell on it. So technically, it should fuck up Superman double.
And he was tripping balls the whole issue.
He was tripping and smelling brownies from space. Brownies from space.
What did you say, Steve, when you read it? Reminded you of fucking X-Babies.
Yes, I said that.
That was
Oh
you?
man, yeah, that's exactly it.
How do you get Steve and Ramon confused?
They look
Like,
alike.
anyway,
Look at them.
Like,
That is true. They do have a certain puppy-like quality.
like brothers.
You pat me and I'll hurt you.
I'm not touching it, brother.
Never.
Nope.
But the yeah, it was just I don't know, and like it just wraps up quickly. Like a Batman finds the other
It's-
half
yeah, it's-
of the thing.
And then the story's over in one issue. I thought they were gonna have like some new shit really fuck up Superman.
Yeah,
And,
no, I mean,
Yeah, they just-
they went over a couple of the kinds of kryptonite. You know, like they were
yeah, I mean, you can find that information
So
online.
you know, I've been following this, man. Is this pretty much one of those lackluster issues that if I was ever
Yeah.
going to get involved, I should just skip?
This
Yeah.
one was
Yeah.
bad, but the last one was good.
Yeah, the
Well, you
last,
guys,
the
well,
last
that's why I
two
think
were
it's
good.
interesting. You guys, last two issues, all you've done.
Then all of a sudden it looked like the story's over
They were wrapping
already.
it up and it's gone. Yeah, no, yeah.
It started out great and then it fucking fell off a cliff
I think they
and
were
died on the rocks
they had,
below.
like an idea for something, and then they're like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Let's just wrap it up quick.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
We'll have Superman trip out on what do you say? Space brownies.
Yeah.
But,
Honorable mention from DC for me goes to Brave and the Bold. I've been enjoying the series since it came out, and number 10 just it's continuing with this story where this alchemist from I don't know sometime in the Middle Ages, this guy Magistus or Magistus, however you want to pronounce his name, he seems to be collecting all of these magical artifacts from all over time and space. Excuse me, and yeah. He seems to be collecting all of these magical artifacts from all over time and space and whatnot, and he's building this thing. You don't know what it is. He's preparing for this major event that, to me, this is probably going to lead right into Final Crisis at some point. I don't know how they're going to do it,
Oh shit.
but you know, I'm going to stick around and see what goes on with it. I know.
why do you think
I
it's going to
know.
go into final?
I want to kill
Listen, man, you know,
There's respect level you have.
just a brief segue, man. You know, we said on this show that we're not going to review Countdown anymore.
Right.
I purchased. I picked up the issue at a comic book store, Magnum Comics, Riverdale Avenue in the Bronx, and I picked up, a copy of Countdown, and I noticed that it was the only thing at the store where it literally
And abundance of
had an abundance of issues. And so I was like, did you get a second round of these in? And the guy was like, no one is buying this. And I looked to the right of it, and there was like issues 23 through 9 were still there. Like, and I've never seen a crossover of this scale so fucking bungled and horrible in my life.
Were they
man.
handing them out to people on the way out? Like
The dude was just sitting. The dude was just sitting there in the comic book store that I go to in the Bronx. Like they sit there, they have video games that they play all day, man. It's a really old school day back environment. But I mentioned the comic book. The guy got this really sad look on his face. Like he was just sort of like, he's an older dude. He's got a beard. He was just like. Like he really had invested a little bit emotionally in that,
Wow.
and Dan Didio found a way to rape him in the ass. You know what I mean? Just,
You'll find an empty
right.
shelf above us,
Yeah.
and I've decided that it's reserved for the heads of Joe Quesada and Dan DiDio.
done, man. I'll go clean out the pickle jars. We're good to go.
Let's do it,
I'm
man.
all over it. I am all over
I've been
it.
telling you for years to clean up those pickle jars.
I've been saving for a special occasion.
Maybe we should get
He
him a
has provided.
hacksaw.
Right.
I'm with it. Just
All right.
make sure it's done. So unfortunately, last week, and we didn't get a chance to review it, The Umbrella Academy by Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba ended. I say unfortunately again because I wanted more.
Yeah.
I want them to put out more. I want a volume 2. I want an ongoing.
And like he was saying, it'd be cool to see the stories before, like in between when they were kids and
Yeah, I would love to see it. I'd love to
Yeah.
see like the early adventures of the Umbrella Academy, like how Space Boy ended up with a fucking 8 body. I'd love to
Seriously.
see all of it. I want to see the horror, which is the one
family. Yes, the one that
The
the
died.
one character they didn't bring out. I want to see it. I want to see all of it, man. So if you're watching by some wild happenstance, get to fucking work,
Chop, chop.
or we're gonna send a hungry Ramon to your house. No one wants that, but we can do it.
snort.
Snorted a little bit. It happens. It happens when he gets excited. Am I the only one who read this?
No.
Yes.
You read it too?
I read it too, yeah.
So what did you think of we're talking about the new Jeff Smith series, Rasl. For those who don't know who Jeff Smith is...
Where the fuck you been at?
Yeah, he's been under a rock. He is the award-winning creator of Bone, which is one of the longest...
Even I knew that, and I never read
Ramon is the horniest human being who has ever graced the face of this green earth of ours.
He said Bone! Damn it!
And now he's a little bit aroused.
I do,
can't-
You're gonna leave me here by myself over here?
if he starts getting touchy again, touchy-feely. Oh, shit! Pete, you know the move to just break his thumb. But Jeff Smith did the historic creation Bone, which is one of the longest-running epic independent books ever. They have it in collected volume. I think it was 300.
They have a mass collection of it in black and white. They're doing the separate volumes in color, and eventually they'll do a mass color version of it.
And Bone, you know, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I couldn't keep up with it all the time, but I love the scale of it. I love the fact that he was able to take it the full run.
Yeah, he created a whole universe.
This is his first project since then, and it is
adult.
Yeah, it's a lot more grown up. Bone had a very had a very Disney feel to it.
Yeah, very much so.
You know, Disney, Ralph Bakshi hybrid. This is a really grown-up comic. It's got a really interesting premise.
It's got it steals and he travels through dimensions.
He's a thief. He's a thief who apparently he is a thief who gets over on you know his jobs by jumping between time and space. Yeah. And apparently it's not something he has a ton of control over. So at the end of this issue, he ends up on an alternate Earth where Bob Dylan still goes by his old Jew name, Bob Zimmerman. Yeah. You know, and it's good. I mean, it's good. I mean,
is that real or is that not a joke?
No, it's real.
Really? I knew that was his name, but I just thought he was just throwing that out there.
Well, Rob Zimmerman was from like Duluth, Minnesota or something, and when he moved to New York, he wanted to refashion himself as like a Woody Guthrie type character, so he took the name Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan the poet.
Yeah.
Dylan Thomas.
There you go. And in this, we believe in education here in Pete's basement, which is why...
Science class last week.
Well, yes. Learning how to set people on fire qualifies as science.
Yes.
And Pete's learning how to read, little by little.
Yeah.
We're letter D.
He was just looking at the pictures for a while.
I get comics on tape.
And it works for him. But this is a really interesting book. I'm really interested to see where it goes with this and if it reaches the same sort of weird scale that Bone did.
I think it will. This one really sold out.
Is this a Horseman?
I don't know what it is. That's the whole point. There's like some weird sort of creature.
I don't know, some weird alien that supposedly is following him and shit.
And it's just an interesting, weird book. And you know, I didn't know what to expect because, like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of Bone, but I really recommend this. It's a good, interesting, weird book.
Looks like a Jack Black a little bit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The way he's drawn, he does look a little like Jack Black. I think that pretty much ends my level of purchases this week, man.
Yeah, that's
Are we?
No, we're not done. We actually have to go get the horror books now.
No.
Do we have to do that?
We have to do that.
We have to
We
do
do.
We can't do that next
Can't
week.
wait.
No. Zombie concluded this week, and Freddy Jason Ash is almost over.
I don't want
You know what that involves?
Yeah, I know.
Let's just get it over with.
Let's go get him.
I don't get paid enough for this shit. All right.
Damn zombies.
This is not going to end well.
Nope.
Alright, come on, bring him in. Sit in here.
Avoid the team.
Would you just watch his teeth? You got Make sure he doesn't swallow his tongue like last time. All right. Okay.
I'm nowhere near this table no more. I'm done.
All right, ready? To the door. Go.
What are you leaving me here?
What are you nuts? We're not safe for this shit.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, Pete.
How's things?
They're good.
Alright. Been reading Freddy Jason Ash, have you? Like it?
Yeah, it's the only thing I get in the hospital.
It's a good man. It's good boy. Good. Freddy Jason Ash is up to number 5. I hope you guys have been reading this. I've been really enjoying it. It is essentially the sequel to Freddy vs. Jason, and they've been planning on putting Ash into the movie, and unfortunately it never kicked off. But the powers that be managed to somehow get it into comic book form, and I mean it's been great. It's like a rated R movie basically. It's really like watching a rated R movie play itself out in comic books. Every aspect of it is great. Ash's as usual sarcastic self, Freddy is a manipulative psycho, and Jason is just a big lumbering fucking machete-wielding maniac.
It's fucking awesome.
He's fucking killing people. Yo, there's a great scene when he went to the Walmart and he's just fucking chopping motherfuckers up. That shit was hot.
Jason is the best thing out of this whole story.
Absolutely.
I love when he goes into the S-Mart and punches his fist right through a lady's mouth and it comes out the back of her head.
Wildstorm has been making all of the Friday the 13th books, and they're all fat. I have not found one that I don't like yet.
He graded an old man with a shopping cart.
That shit was great. Picks the shopping cart up and slams it on this old dude.
And just turned him into mincemeat.
That shit was
He's been pulling bitches apart in half. There was this one couple having sex on the floor. He stabbed him with a machete. It came out into the
That's
basement.
like his classic move, though. He did that in like 1 or 2 movies as well.
So it's actually been a good movie.
Issue 5, they pull a classic Friday the 13th move where Ash is fighting him and he knocks the mask off and he's all fucking ugly and decrepit underneath. That's a classic Jason right there. Cool. That shit had to happen.
And spoiler alert, the dopest shit I've ever saw Jason do, he gets his arm chopped off by Ash, and then he takes the machete and sticks it in his severed arm, and now Jason has a machete.
And Ash had the great line, he's like,
there's nothing original
no more. That's great.
It's an awesome comic.
Yeah, man, you definitely ought to read that one.
It probably would have been a weak movie, but it's an awesome comic.
Yeah. It's funny how things don't really translate well to movies, but they really make awesome comics, because like when stupid shit like that happens, you accept it more out of comic books than you would a movie. I don't know, something about, I guess, the realism factor. People are seeing shit moving on the screen and they figure, oh, it's got to be realistic. And fucking comic books are comic books, you know?
Yeah.
One thing that did also conclude this past week was Marvel Max's The Zombie, Simon Garth, which is a sequel to Marvel's original Zombies. It's basically just a 4-issue story of people running away from zombies, kind of a Night of the Living Dead type of thing. And in this particular sequel, it's still the same zombie outbreak infection, and this one dude, Simon Garth, is infected by the zombies, but he doesn't turn into a full-fledged zombie. He still has a lot of his intelligence. He can't speak, but he does have human emotion. He's helping this little girl find her parents and just knocking their snot out of zombies left and right, fucking grabbing motherfuckers' heads and just crushing it and shit. And being that it's in the Max line, they're showing all of this. And, it's cursing, it's bloodthirsty, it's gory, and if you like zombies, I highly recommend you pick them up. Or look for the trades. They'll probably release both trades together since there was only 4 issues, and trades are usually anywhere between 5 to 8 issues. They'll probably do a hardcover or something real soon. Definitely pick it up. It's just a lot of zombie gore fun. And I think that...
Are there nude zombies in it?
No, not in this one. I don't really recall any nudity running around. I don't think so.
No naked zombies?
I'm actually a little upset that they didn't put any nudity in Freddy, Jason, Ash, because what is a Friday the 13th without tits in it? I'm sorry, but yeah, you need tits in a Friday the 13th movie. You do. And I think you need it in a comic book as well. Sorry. I don't really go over with the whole comic book tit thing, but in this case, I'll make an exception.
Well, I read it in the nude, if that counts for anything.
That doesn't count at all. No. No, that's actually frightening, and I'm going to have to leave now. This has been Pete's Basement. This is Pete. The rest of these cocksuckers left me. And when I find them, I'm going to flay them.
You're not going to tell people how to get to the website, even though they're probably most likely on the website already watching the show?
That's a good point. The crazy guy brings up a good point. And rather rational as well. Check us out at Pete'sBasement.com, and especially check us out at MySpace/Pete'sBasement. Thanks, guys, for supporting us, dropping us all kinds of cool comments and videos, and
how can they drop us a comment?
Well, I'm not going to explain the whole MySpace thing to them. They'll figure that shit out.
Well, what about questions at Pete'sBasement.com? The
man said it. Write us letters. Questions at Pete'sBasement.com. And
I watched Sesame Street.
Oh, man. Sesame Street's awesome. Sesame Street is awesome. Especially, guys, thanks for contributing to all the forums that me and the crazy guy and everybody else has been writing. Fantasy fights and who's the best creators and writers and artists in the industry. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really looking to go before Danny goes and bites my fingers off and shit. So, this has been Pete's Basement. Roger's making the little traveling song. The fucking...
You guys just take hit the WD-40.
Just waste coming out of my body in liquid.
It's my coarse Jew hair. I pluck it. You think that I shave? Oh no, my friend. I pluck.
Oh, Jesus.
No. He went au natural. Do it.
Do it!
My shit!
Oh man. Are we gonna do that thing?
No, I think we can go with that. We'll just cut. No, we're gonna
Take 3.
No, it was good. Keep it. Keep it.
Credits coming up right
do we have to do this again? I don't know. If I
Oh, the fucking covers or the scrolls.
So
Oh, we'll do Rasl and Umbrella and Rasl, which were right here.
put
right here.
you should put the zombie like in the middle of the Freddy Jason books. Put 'em like
Yeah.
in the
gotta-
middle.
yeah. That's fine.
Don't put it at the end because I don't want to fight into it.
I don't know shit about it.